Have you ever experienced that moment when she starts testing you after you've gone silent? It's no coincidence. This is her way of seeing if you're still the strong, confident man she's intrigued by, or if you're someone she can walk all over. How you respond to these tests will either elevate her attraction or cause her to lose interest. Stick around, because I'm going to show you exactly why she pulls these stunts after no contact, and how to handle it with the power, poise, and self-assurance of a high-value man who knows his worth. 1. Why she tests you after no contact. When you decide to initiate no contact, you're not just giving her space, you're stirring up a powerful emotional reaction. Before you went silent, she was used to your consistent efforts to stay in touch, to keep the connection alive. That predictability gave her comfort and a sense of control. She knew you'd reach out, that you'd be there, that she could rely on your attention. But the moment you pull away, you disrupt that balance. Your absence forces her to confront a reality she wasn't expecting. So why does this silence have such a strong impact on her? It's simple. People don't value what they have until it's gone. When you remove yourself from the equation, it forces her to pause and reflect on the dynamic. Initially, she might brush it off, thinking he'll come back around. But as the days drag on, her certainty begins to waver. She starts to wonder, why hasn't he contacted me? Has something changed? Is he moving on? These questions make her anxious because for the first time, she's unsure of where she stands with you. This uncertainty triggers a deep emotional response. It's not just about missing your texts or calls. It's about the power shift. She no longer controls the connection, and that loss of control leaves her feeling unsettled. So what does she do next? She tests you. Why? Because she wants to regain control of the situation, but without exposing herself to rejection. By testing you, she can gauge your emotional availability without putting herself at risk. She's looking to see if you've truly moved on, or if you're still emotionally invested in her. This is where your response becomes crucial. How you handle her tests will either make her chase you harder, respecting your strength, or it will confirm her fears that she still holds the power in the relationship. The way you play your cards now can either pull her in or push her away. Are you ready for it? 2. The types of tests she'll throw your way. When she starts testing you, you might think her actions are harmless, but make no mistake, each test is strategically designed to push your buttons and uncover certain aspects of your character. She's not just testing your patience, she's testing your emotional strength, your confidence, and whether you've truly mastered the art of maintaining your boundaries. Let's break down some of the most common tests she'll throw your way and what they actually mean. The casual text test. She might send you a simple, "Hey," or "What's up?" It seems like an innocent check-in, but it's anything but casual. This is her way of testing how much you'll chase after her. If you respond too quickly or too eagerly, she'll think you've been waiting for this moment, that you've been craving her attention all along. The social media move. She'll start liking your posts, viewing your stories, or even posting things that seem designed to make you react. Perhaps a photo with another guy, or a cryptic caption like "living my best life." Don't be fooled. This isn't about her moving on. It's about testing your jealousy and seeing if you'll make the first move to reclaim her attention. The nostalgia trap. She might send you a message referencing a shared experience like, "Remember that crazy road trip we took?" This isn't just reminiscing. It's a strategic move to see if you're still emotionally invested. She wants to test if that connection is still alive for you, or if it's been replaced by the silence of no contact. The emotional test. She reaches out with a personal issue, saying something like, "I've been feeling really down lately." This is her way of testing your boundaries. Will you rush to her aid, risking emotional attachment again? Or will you stand strong and maintain the emotional distance you've worked so hard to create? These tests aren't random, they're intentional probes to see how much power she still has over you. Each one is designed to make you reveal whether you're still emotionally available, whether you've grown, and whether you've maintained your boundaries. Recognizing these tests is the first step, but how you respond will determine if she respects you or if you lose your position of strength. 3. How to recognize a test without reacting. The biggest mistake men make when they're tested by a woman is reacting emotionally, whether it's a vague text, a cryptic social media post, or a subtle comment designed to get under your skin. Many guys take the bait and respond impulsively. What they don't realize is that by reacting right away, they're giving her exactly what she wants: control over the situation. When you react emotionally, you've already lost. So how do you recognize a test without falling into her trap? The first step is to pay attention to patterns in her behavior. Does her message feel overly casual, like "Hey stranger" or "What's up?" These types of texts aren't genuine attempts to reconnect. They're designed to test your emotional reaction and see how eager you are to engage. She's watching to see if you'll jump at the chance to prove you're still emotionally invested. Similarly, is she suddenly more active on social media, liking your posts or sharing things that seem pointed at you? Maybe she's posting photos or captions that stir up jealousy, or mentioning other people to provoke a response. These are classic signs of a test to gauge your emotional control. And then there's the nostalgia test, bringing up old memories or inside jokes, hoping you'll fall into the emotional trap of reminiscing and longing for the past. Once you start recognizing these tests, the key is to stay grounded and composed. Don't rush to reply, don't let your emotions take over, and definitely don't give her the reaction she's hoping for. Take a moment to pause, breathe, and assess the situation. Ask yourself, what's her real intention here? Is she genuinely trying to reconnect, or is this a game to test my boundaries? By resisting the urge to respond immediately, you're showing her that you're not easily swayed. You're in control of your emotions, and this ability to stay calm and composed is what makes you stand out as a high-value man. When you don't react emotionally, you shift the power dynamic in your favor, making her more intrigued and more likely to chase you. 4. The key to passing every test. Passing her tests isn't about playing hard to get or ignoring her completely. It's about standing firm in your own value and showing her that you're a man who has it all together, confident, composed, and fully in control of his own life. When she throws a test your way, what she's really seeking is reassurance. She wants to know if you have the strength to handle her, if you're emotionally stable enough to stand your ground, and if you respect yourself enough to not be swayed by her games. So, how do you pass every test with ease? Here's the blueprint. Stay calm and collected. No matter what kind of test she throws your way, whether it's a cryptic text, a social media post meant to provoke, or a sudden emotional outreach, your first reaction should always be calmness. Don't let her actions stir you. Stay grounded, stay in control, take your time. When she sends a message, don't be in a rush to respond. Let the silence linger. Let her wonder if you're sitting around waiting for her to reach out, or if you're simply busy living your own life. This will shift the power dynamic in your favor. Be clear, but not overly invested. If you decide to respond, keep your message short, confident, and assertive. Something like, "Hey, just focusing on my goals and staying busy." This shows her that you've got a life outside of her, that your focus is on your own growth, not her drama. Don't overreact to her attempts at provoking jealousy or guilt, whether she's trying to get a rise out of you with her actions or words. Stay unbothered. Don't feed into the chaos, and remain focused on what truly matters, your own journey. Passing her tests isn't about proving something to her. It's about proving to yourself that you've mastered emotional control, that you value your own time and energy, and that you won't be easily manipulated. When you respond from a place of self-respect, you show her that you're the one in control, and that's incredibly attractive. 5. Why her tests are an opportunity, not a threat. At first, her tests might seem frustrating, even manipulative, but the truth is, they're an opportunity in disguise. When she tests you, she's giving you a chance to prove your value, not through chasing her or reacting emotionally, but by staying grounded in your confidence and showing emotional maturity. Think of it like this. Every test is her way of assessing whether you're truly the strong, composed man you appear to be. She's evaluating whether you're worth her time, emotional investment, and energy. When you pass these tests, you reinforce her perception of you as someone who is high value, someone who has it together, and someone she could potentially build something meaningful with. Here's the mindset shift that will change everything. Instead of viewing her tests as obstacles or challenges, start seeing them as opportunities to demonstrate how far you've come. This is your chance to show her that you're no longer the same man who used to chase her or seek her approval. You've evolved, and her tests are simply a reflection of your growth. They're not there to knock you down. They're there to give you the platform to prove your emotional strength, self-respect, and inner stability. When you embrace her tests as opportunities, you're flipping the script entirely. You're no longer caught in a game where she holds the power. You're the one setting the tone. You're leading the interaction with confidence, making it clear that the relationship dynamic will be built on mutual respect, not emotional manipulation or desperation. And that's the foundation of any healthy, lasting relationship. So the next time she tests you, remember this. It's not a threat. It's your moment to shine, to show her that you've evolved into a high-value man who won't be swayed by games. 6. She becomes curious about your life without her. One of the most powerful effects of going no contact is the intense curiosity it sparks in her. The moment you stop reaching out, stop chasing, she's left wondering what's happening in your life. This curiosity doesn't come from indifference. It comes from a deep, almost instinctual desire to understand her place in your world now that you've stepped out of hers. She starts to imagine a million scenarios. Are you spending more time with friends? Have you moved on? Are you happier without her? These thoughts begin to invade her mind, and the uncertainty only fuels her intrigue. The more she's left in the dark, the more obsessed she becomes with finding out what you're up to. She may even start lurking on your social media, asking mutual friends about you, or rereading old conversations in search of clues about how you're feeling. But here's the twist. This curiosity isn't just about wanting to know what you're doing, it's about her need for validation. She wants to reassure herself that, even though she's no longer hearing from you, she still holds a place of importance in your life. The silence you've created makes that validation harder to come by, and that's what keeps her hooked. The beauty of this stage is that her curiosity often leads her to take action. She might casually reach out with a text, or start engaging with your social media posts just to see if she can trigger a response. The key here is to stay composed and let her curiosity build even further. This is when you know the dynamic has shifted and you're no longer the one chasing. Her curiosity is your power, and the more you remain emotionally unaffected, the more she'll feel the pull to figure you out. 7. She starts to doubt her own decisions. As time goes on, the absence you've created begins to stir more than just longing in her. It forces her to confront her own decisions. This is when the self-doubt starts to creep in, quietly at first, then more persistently. She starts questioning the choices she made that led to this point. Did I take him for granted? Was I too dismissive of all the effort he put in? Did I misjudge how deep the connection really was? These thoughts don't come rushing in all at once. They build gradually, piece by piece. In the beginning, she might tell herself, "He'll come back eventually," or "It wasn't that serious anyway," as a way to justify her actions. But as the silence stretches on, those excuses lose their power, and she's left with only the uncomfortable reality. This shift is powerful because it forces her to stop focusing on you and instead turn inward, reflecting on her own behavior. Instead of wondering why you've gone silent, she begins replaying every conversation, every moment, and questioning where things went wrong. She starts to see where she might have misread the situation or taken you for granted. The more she reflects, the stronger the sense of regret becomes. The longer she sits with these doubts, the more intense they grow, and that regret starts to weigh on her. Eventually, it becomes too much for her to ignore, and she finds herself thinking about reaching out, trying to make amends. Your decision to walk away has created space for her to realize the value she might have once overlooked. That realization is transformative. She begins to understand what she lost, and more importantly, she starts to recognize her role in the breakdown of the relationship. This shift in her mindset often leads her to take action, whether it's reaching out to you directly or trying to find other ways to reconnect. The silence you've maintained has planted the seed of doubt in her mind, and now it's blossoming into the realization that she may have let something truly valuable slip away. 8. She begins to idealize you. After the dust settles from her confusion and self-doubt, something truly captivating begins to unfold. She starts to idealize you. In your absence, her mind begins to focus on the best parts of your connection, highlighting the moments when you made her laugh, the thoughtful gestures you made, and the emotional support you always gave. This is a psychological shift known as rose-colored retrospection. When someone is no longer in our lives, our minds tend to amplify the positive moments and minimize the negative, often making the past seem far better than it actually was. For her, this means you're no longer just a memory of someone she used to know. You've transformed into the person she wishes she still had. She'll start thinking, "I didn't realize how much he truly brought into my life," or "I miss the way he made me feel, so understood and appreciated." The more time that passes, the more she elevates you in her mind. This shift in perception goes beyond just nostalgia. It's about realizing your unique value. Because you're no longer actively pursuing her, your value stands out even more clearly. Your absence forces her to recognize what she lost, and the more she dwells on the good aspects of your relationship, the stronger the pull to reconnect becomes. This is where the real power of no contact shows itself. By allowing her to idealize you, you've created the perfect environment for her to feel the desire to reach out. The longer you maintain your distance and let her idealize you, the more she'll feel the need to take action and close the gap you've created. 9. She becomes afraid of losing you for good. As her curiosity, doubts, and idealization continue to build, she reaches a point where something deeper takes hold: fear. It's not just the fear of losing you, it's the fear of losing the connection, the emotional security, and the version of herself she experienced while she was with you. The silence you've maintained starts to feel permanent, and the thought of that becomes terrifying. She begins to realize that she might never find the same emotional depth or sense of stability with someone else, and that awareness hits hard. She might think, "What if he's already moved on? What if he's happier without me? What if I've lost my chance forever?" These thoughts don't fade. They intensify, and that growing fear becomes impossible to ignore. This fear often drives her to take bold, sometimes unexpected action. She might reach out directly, asking for a conversation, or trying to rekindle the connection. Alternatively, she may engage with your social media posts or send seemingly casual messages, hoping to gauge your response. But regardless of the form it takes, her fear of losing you for good is the most powerful signal that your approach is working. The key here is to stay calm, grounded, and unwavering. Don't let her fear dictate your actions. If you choose to respond, do so from a place of self-assurance and respect. You've already shown your worth by walking away. Now, it's up to her to step up and meet you halfway. This moment is pivotal, and your response, or lack of response, will determine the direction of the relationship. 10. She realizes she needs to change to keep you. The final stage in her emotional journey is nothing short of transformative. She begins to realize that if she wants to keep you in her life, she has to change, and not just for the sake of getting you back, but to genuinely earn your respect and show that she values the connection you shared. This is when she starts reflecting deeply on her own behavior, evaluating the actions or patterns that may have driven you away. Was she too dismissive of your efforts? Did she take your love for granted? Did she overlook the little things you did to make her feel appreciated? These realizations aren't fueled by guilt alone. They're motivated by a desire for growth and self-improvement. This stage marks the beginning of her real transformation. If she reaches out, it's no longer about just reconnecting. It's about proving that she's willing to meet the standards you set. She may express regret, take full accountability for her past actions, and even ask what she can do to make things right. This is where your self-respect truly pays off. By walking away, you've set a bar for how you deserve to be treated, and now she's responding to that. Her willingness to change shows that she recognizes your worth and is prepared to step up in ways she never did before. Whether or not you decide to rebuild the relationship is entirely in your hands, but the fact remains, you've already won. You've shown that you value yourself and your emotional well-being above all else. Walking away wasn't about giving up. It was about claiming the respect you deserve, and now she sees that. This is your moment to decide what happens next. But either way, you've shifted the power dynamic in your favor. If this video gave you clarity, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.